Rap Radio. Raw and uncut.
Cubo, and welcome to Chicano Rap Radio. I'm your homie Snipes holding it down, and today we have the homie Bozo in the house. So without further ado, let's welcome him back to the show. What's up, G? How you doing?
Good, my boy. Good. Thank you. How you doing?
I'm doing firme. It's a pleasure to have you here again, to have you back. I wanted to, just get your intake right now that's nice and fresh in your mind with your new release of your new album, King Goon. So, one of the first things that stood out to me from the beginning was the album cover. Can you, talk to me a little bit more about that, why you chose that album cover, and then what's the significance of it?
The significance of it is basically what the lion symbolizes in the jungle, The lion in the jungle is a king. But in order for him to be king, obviously the lion has to take a lot of not only physical punishment, but he has to endure a lot of spiritual punishment also, you know what I'm saying? So that's why I put the wounded lion as the cover of my album.
That's right. And that's kind of what I got from it. I mean, definitely you're trying to present that message that, there is no victory without, struggles or having to actually fight for it. And,
Exactly.
The line's a great representation of that. Now, the King Goon, I know it's a follow up to your other albums, Goon Play, and just kind of like the whole theme of what Bozo represents. But can you elaborate a little bit more in regards to King Goon? I mean, I know the album cover, I know why you chose the album cover, but why also the title of King Goon?
Because I like to think that I embody the presence of a goon. You know what I'm saying? As far as like, a goon is basically somebody that's willing to do anything and everything to accomplish his goal, whether in a lot of people's eyes it's positive or negative, you know what I'm saying? So, and the king is obviously just based on, well, my last name is Reyes, In right. Spanish, that means kings. Right. So that's the main reason why it's called King Goon,
Well, it fits perfect, and I think a lot of people out there that are just started listening to the album. It's a really good album from beginning to end. There's definitely some tracks that to me I think I relate a little bit more to, but I really like how you did a really good blend of mixing up the production. It seems to me like different sounds. Can you tell me a little bit more about some of the people that helped you develop the sound of this album?
Yeah, I've been working with a lot of new talent, and then I've been working with some talent that's been around a long time for our culture, which is Ernie G from Proper Dose.
Yeah.
Working with Ernie G, I've done every independent album with Ernie G except for the ones on Fam First, but I like to work with Ernie G because he's an old soul, you know what I'm saying? He's an old soul. He has tremendous knowledge as far as music. He's a student of the game. He's a student of just life in general. He's a very curious mind, So him working along with me, like, I feel like I feel that I give him the opportunity to relive a lot of the shit that he didn't get to do when he was in my shoes, Mm-hmm. And then I like to think that together we both have unfinished business. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I went through Ernie G because he knows how to make those soulful tracks, like, for instance, the beginning song is called shit. How the fuck
Dreams
do I know?
In a Cell. Dreams in a Cell.
Yeah, Dreams in a Cell. We created that from scratch in the studio together. He started with the drum patterns. He gave me the basic beat. I did my lyrics. I went home, and then he painted a whole nother picture with the mixes in the song, drops, switched up the beat, did added some soulful sounds in there, some soulful harmonies. And at the end of the album, he also closed the album with the song Terms. Yeah. And
Killed it.
So he paints a vivid picture with production, and then it complements the lyrics. So what we were going for was almost like an audio visualization, more or less like a movie without the movie, a movie soundtrack, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's why the energy of the song started the way it started. And that's why you can see it transitioning from self-empowerment to then, like, you know, you having your swagger partying, and then you having your downfalls, and at the end you basically answering the question to all the people why you're going through what you're going through and why you're dealing with it the way you're dealing with it. You feel what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah, so Crystal Vibes did some production, new talent. Chunky Chan did some production, new talent also. Misfit Soto did production on my album. And then, like I said, Ernie G, you know?
Yeah, and I had seen that on Instagram that you were working with him, so I was real intrigued of what the final product was going to be because definitely from talking to Ernie G, I mean he's got so much going on up here that I think majority of us can really relate or understand a lot of the technical stuff that goes through his mind in order for him to develop the sound that he puts out. And with this album, I mean I can tell that there is definitely a lot of soul put into it. You mentioned Dreams in a Cell. That's definitely one. That's a good way to kick it off. And I think it also talks about like your journey from where you were when you were doing time, where they gave you 10 years, and eventually you were able to get released, and then come back out here, and you came out hungry. Tell me a little bit more about Dreams in a Cell. I mean, why is that an important message, and why was that the first song that you put on there, as lyrically?
Because a lot of people, I mean, I guess it's only a personal matter, right? But I started this journey in a cell, you know what I'm saying? And it started, it's funny because the first time I ever wrote lyrics or wrote a song was because I had a dream that somebody was telling a mother that her son had just died. And when I woke up that day, or the next day, it turned out my cousin had got murdered, Oh, wow. So the dream in a cell is vivid to me, you know what I'm saying? Like I've dreamt a lot of shit that took place, and a lot of things that I never thought would be possible. I just maybe saw as deja vu, or I saw as a dream. But it's to let you understand that nothing is just a dream, you feel what I'm saying? Right. Nothing is just you tripping. Like there's a message behind everything that your mind creates a picture for inside of your brain, consciously or subconsciously. Like consciously, we have a vivid imagination. Subconsciously, we have vivid dreams, but everything has a seed, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So that's why it started off with Dreams in a Cell, because that's how this whole music shit started. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. And one of the beautiful things about music is that it's always open to interpretation, to whoever listens to the music, to their own individual experiences. Obviously there were certain things that inspired you to write that song, but someone else who maybe hasn't done time or been in a cell can still relate, because Dreams of a Cell it's also like a metaphor, like you could feel like you're trapped or you're confined right now, but you have these dreams that you can make into a reality and kind of break free. So that's why I think that song is very powerful, because especially you being the example of starting off being literally in a cell, and having these dreams, and then having those dreams become reality to what we hear now coming through the speakers. So I think that's a really good song that I like how you guys kicked it off. Now, one of the other things that I noticed also in the album was how you did also a little bit of like sampling of getting like a little bit more of like a older sound, like was that intentional? Is that why you chose to work with Ernie G?
That was yeah, well that's why we that's why he produced the songs that he produced, it was intentional for him to produce the intro, to produce and the outro, you know what I'm saying? He also produced the song with me and Loco Negro called Game,
Game.
But it was intentional because I was looking for those mixes, the scratching, the drops, the old samples, you know what I mean? That's shit that I don't have knowledge to those samples, you know what I'm saying? I mean, I hear songs and I'm like, oh, that's dope, but I couldn't tell you who, you know what I'm saying? So having Ernie with the memory and his experience, like it was just simple, like it was flawless,
Yeah, and they came off. You executed the whole album flawlessly. I think the way it flows. I think for someone who's into not just rap but more of a hip hop head is really gonna come to appreciate the album. There's a lyric in there that says somewhere along the lines like, if you listen to me long enough, you're gonna develop an ego, or that
Yeah, of course.
along those lines. So
Yeah.
I also wanted to get your take on that. Like how do you what do you think your music does for your fans?
Well, it gives them confidence. You know, it allows you to see, it allows you to put your failures and your mistakes in perspective, you know? When you see somebody that's fucked his whole life up, you know what I mean? But come with the energy to make it back. You know what I'm saying? That's what, to me, that's music's biggest gift, is to inspire somebody. You feel what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
for me to take somebody that has zero confidence and then give them an ego is fucking amazing. You feel what I mean? That's a complete 360. So that's why I said that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that's good, you know, as as we become more of role models or thought leaders, you know, to the younger generations. I think it's good that they have a strong role model to kind of tell them, hey, it's okay to be confident and to even be a little cocky of what you're trying to get. You know, you don't always have to, you know, cower to other people. You know, sometimes it's okay to just come and take what you is rightfully yours. And so that's what I like about your music, that you can stay genuine and true to who you are and where you come from, but at the same time exhibit growth. And you know, my hats off to the new album. I'm definitely a fan. I've been bumping it since it came out. In preparation, not just for this interview, but because, you know, it's really well produced. I was looking forward to it. I want to get a little bit more into the other songs and kind of get your 2 cents on how you came about the concept of the other songs. But let's take a quick little break and we'll be right back.
Yeah, no doubt.
Okay. You're listening to Chicano Rap Radio, raw and uncut.
Hit us up at 805-395-6595 for your special requests, dedications, and shout-outs. Chicano Rap Radio, raw and uncut.
Welcome back to Chicano Rap Radio. We're chopping it up with the homeboy Bozo. We're talking about his latest release, King Goon, and how he worked with different artists to develop the sound that you hear now in the album. Definitely a lot of bangers. So if you haven't already, definitely, you know, make it a point to go and check it out. Now, staying on the same subject of the, you know, of the flow and the sound that you developed on your album, I wanted to ask you about, you know, Money, Power, Respect. I really like that track, but I also really like it because it gives me that little nostalgia of the little sample that you guys used in regards to the Lookout Weekend. I think between your lyrics and the music that you guys produce, it's a banging track. Can you tell me who produced that track and, you know, why Money, Power, Respect? What's the concept of the song?
Well, the song is Funky Little Beat.
Oh,
That's
that's what it was. Funky
Funky
Little
Little.
Beat. You're
Yeah,
right.
Funky Little Beat. The song is produced by an 18-year-old producer that I've been working a lot with. I met him when he was 17. He's out of Arizona. So
That's
he's
right.
not local, but he reached out to me a while back. He also did a song I did a while back called Blue and Blue Out, where he
Mhm.
sampled Into Deep. So
Okay.
the kid's amazing. Like, he's the youngest producer I've ever worked with, but he's by far like probably one of the most talented, you know?
Yeah.
So I threw it out there to him because shit, like I don't know, maybe at a house party. I think it was that same weekend we were at a house party and the fucking track came on and I was like, man, I gotta sample this shit, you know?
Yeah.
So we sampled it and we did the Money, Power, Respect based on shit that I had been going through personally in life. You know, like when you start getting this notoriety and even a little bit of fame, like a lot of things about you start being questioned. One of them being, does he really have money? You know what I'm saying? Second, does he really have the power to like say the shit he's saying? And third, also, is does he carry the respect that he claims? You know what I'm saying? So we sampled it, and the message was basically on that track was just like letting you know like where I stand, but swaggered out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
In a cool fashion, nothing violent, nothing aggressive, just chill. You know what I mean? Just a good vibe, just to let you know where I'm at mentally and where I'm trying to take this shit. You know what I mean?
I like the little, you know, your little take on the hook, you know, what you guys did. You know, I get money, power, respect. Like I
Yeah.
just I think it's powerful. You know what I mean? It doesn't
Yeah.
really much because the message is so powerful. And again, I'm really digging the sample, and I like how it's not necessarily so easy to recognize, because as you can tell, I had it wrong. You know,
Yeah,
I'm like, I just knew. I'm like, oh, that's the
yeah.
jam. You know, I've heard this before. So, you know, shout out to the homie, the young homie. Definitely is going to be putting out, you know, a lot more music, especially, you know, with you blessing his beat, you know, with the lyrics and the content and the song that you guys produced together, is definitely one for his resume. And I'm sure you guys will work together again. I was also talking about how this album has a lot of soul, and a lot of the beats. I mean, you can just sit there and just kind of just vibe to them, just kind of real melodic, you know, which is what happened with Forever. Um,
Hmm.
Tell me more about Forever, and why that song is, you know, why Forever means so much to you.
Well, I wrote that song. It's funny you say that because, and a lot of people like that song. Chunky Chan also produced that song. It's funny that song, that beat ended up in my lap by accident. I had never heard it. Chunky shot it to another Chicano rap artist that's pretty well known, but that fool shut it down and told him, "Hey, I don't like this shit. I don't fuck with it." So I told Chunky, bro, like, I'm supposed to get him first. You know what I mean? Like, you're supposed to let me go through him first and let you know
Yeah.
if you know what I mean. So he was like, "I'll shoot it to you right now." So he shot it to me, and I listened to it, and I was like, "Damn, this shit's dope," you know.
Yeah.
So it just so happens that my wife contracted COVID, 19,
Oh
right?
shit.
But you gotta understand, she got it during like the first wave, almost a year ago, like
Hmm.
right when it first took off. So some of the closest people around me reacted kind of strange to her, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, stay up, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm, I don't really enjoy seeing anybody get treated different, you know what I mean? So I told my girl, check this out, man. Like, I'm gonna take my 2 weeks vacation and we're getting the fuck out of here, Like, people want to, you know what I mean? So what I did was I booked us some Airbnb in San Diego, but secluded, like where we would be on our own by the beach. And I bullshit you not, I grabbed my little, at the time she was a year and a half. I grabbed my year-and-a-half daughter. I grabbed my girl. I grabbed a JBL speaker, Bluetooth, a big ass one. And we took off to the beach in San Diego. And I was letting my daughter and my wife play in the sand while I was writing the lyrics to the song. That's why if you listen to the song, it says, we in the white sand, she got a nice tan.
Yeah.
I'm gonna roll a
Yeah.
couple grand, you can smell the gas. I was literally doing that shit, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You gotta make it last. Where you going fast? I learned patient visitation through a fucking glass.
Yeah. It's powerful.
So it was a vibe that I was going through, you know what I mean? Sitting there and enjoying the scenery, you know what I mean? You gotta understand, bro. I did 10 years behind prison, right?
Yeah.
And scenery is what I hold closest to my heart now. When I see a beautiful view, when I see the sky, and it's like when I can see down the hill into like fucking miles away, to me it's a blessing because I remember being behind the wall where I
Right.
couldn't see past 100 yards.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was just a brick fucking wall. And a lot of times being busted, having such a big imagination, my mind would fuck with me. And I would question if the world was even still behind that fucking wall.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
That's
So
crazy.
so yeah, you dog, you gotta
What
understand.
it
I
does
had
to your fucking
it
head.
fucks with your psyche for real, bro. So now to me, scenery is amazing. Like, when I think about that, like, fuck, I know we're out here, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's a beautiful thing. So
Yeah.
sceneries really inspire me, you know what I mean? It's part of the reasons why I moved to where I moved. Like, I moved to a city in LA that's close to the mountains. I could see all the mountains, dog, San Gabriel Mountains, and then I could see all of downtown LA. You know what I mean?
Right.
So scenery and vision is real important to me, but Forever also carried a message, you know what I'm saying? It was just a message of endurance, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
A message of like, let's not ruin friendships, let's not ruin relationships behind money. Because
Yeah.
if the
Money comes
money's
and goes.
yours, yeah, money comes and goes, bro, like so easily, you know what I mean? And I've lost so many friendships and I've grown distant to some people based on that, you know what I mean? So I was just letting those people know, like, the money's gonna come and go, dog. Like, I'm gonna be me forever. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can
Yeah.
count on that. So yeah, it's a very. I'm gonna shoot a video to that song actually. You know what I mean? So
That's right.
it's a very
Will that be the first
meaningful song
video?
to me. Excuse me?
Will that be the first video?
Well, the first video I already dropped it. It's called Tried. I dropped it last Thursday.
Oh yes, that's right. That's right.
Yeah, it's the second song to the
Yeah.
album. We felt like we needed visuals for the album to promote the album, so we shot a video real quick. I'm at a point right now, dog, where like videos, I almost treat them like I treat a whole movie. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't, well, me personally, you know, I don't like to stage like a gang of models no more in like cars and shit. Like to me, the more organic, the more real it is, the more I find it interesting. You know what I'm saying? Right. So that's more of the feel that I'm going for, like in my next couple of videos. You know what I mean? It's just like give you like the real me, you know, the true me. You know what I'm saying? That's like, right. You know what I mean? I don't want to always have to get models to show you that I have a beautiful lady next to me every day. You know what I mean? Right. Like yes. I got a bad, you know what I mean? I got a baddie with me all the time, you know, like it's not just a rap song, you know? Yeah. Like I can't be without a bad bitch, dog. You know what I mean? That's just, you know, I got to have, you know what I mean? A beautiful lady, you know what I'm saying? And children are a part of my life. I love raising babies. I love seeing them.
You love making them? Really, or practice.
I love making them, most definitely, yeah. And I like providing for them. You know what I mean?
That's solid.
I tell this to the homie all the time. You know, like Cujo, when Cujo's girl got pregnant, he messaged me and he was like, "Big dog, I'm gonna have a baby." And I was like, "Well, babies bring wealth if you have the right intentions." You know what I'm saying? If you have the wrong intentions, babies bring you stress. But if you have the right mentality, right, a child will motivate you to go be that fucking that earner. You know what I'm saying? So it just depends on you, you know?
And they definitely give you purpose, without a doubt. Definitely. And exactly. You know, if you recognize, I mean, it's one thing to father a child. I think also recognizing that that's part of your legacy, you know, it would allow you to put more into them. And that goes everything from teaching them lessons, you know, talking to them, spending time with them. And sometimes, honestly, even just doing some goofy ass shit that maybe you think is kind of dumb, but, you know, your kids all it. And so it's something that I've had to learn, and I appreciate all those little moments now, because I see it's like, hey, I'm investing in my son's future, but also how he, when I'm long gone, you know, how he's going to look back on me and what I passed down to him. So I think that's solid that you're a family man, that you, you know, that you're down for your woman. And in regards to the song, I mean, Forever, I like how you made it, how it's not all materialistic. Money comes and goes. But what is it? The Gunners are forever, right?
Yeah.
One last thing I wanted to get into that last song, because I don't want to talk too much about the album. I definitely want people who haven't listened to it to still go back and listen to it. But I just wanted to talk about some of the tracks that I think are standouts. Terms, which is the last song that you that's on your album, is also very, very soulful. And if you said that was produced by Ernie G, then it makes sense. I love the saxophone little jazz beat on it, and I just think you guys did a really good job of blending it together. But tell me more about that song and why you produced it the way you did, with, instead of having an actual chorus, how you have that recording of the guy speaking.
Well, we found Ernie G knows my life. Ernie G knows my life. We've obviously been in the studio together hours upon hours. We've shared a lot of, you know, we've shared a lot about each other to each other. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So originally what happened was he had the saxophones playing for me. It's Wishing on a Star. You know, it's Wishing on a Star. Yeah. So he had the saxophones playing for me. And I write all my music on the spot. You know what I mean? Most of the time. There's probably one or two songs that I wrote away from the studio, but most of the time I like to hear the beat in the studio. I like that vibe of the studio. I like the energy it gives me. I like to write on the spot. So the song is called Terms for a reason, because like I like to think of myself as an open book. You know what I'm saying? Like what you see is what you get. You know what I'm saying? There's no fake, no fraud, no flaw, no bullshit. You know what I'm saying? What you see is what you get. I'm pretty sincere. You know what I mean? And the way that I'm speaking on the song, like these are the terms that I come into your life with, you know what I mean? These things that I believe in, these things that I'm sharing with you, I hold dearly to me. It's not a trend. It's not a phase I'm going through. You know what I mean? This is really who I am. So I named the song Terms. And then as I left the studio, Ernie found the skits put him on the track to complement my lyrics instead of a hook. And then he sent it to me that same night, like I think within an hour, you know? And when I heard the man speaking, it solidifies something to me that Ernie is listening to me when I'm in there, you know? That he is paying attention to what I'm saying, and he is feeling like my intentions and my goals while I'm in there sharing them with him, you know what I'm saying? So I believe that that's why the song came out the way it came out, you know what I mean? Because me and him are in tune right now about what we're doing and how we're trying to do it, you know?
Well, I mean, you guys have another classic, and definitely, you have a really solid album on your hands, and I know this is just the beginning. It seems to me like you have other things working in the background, especially with the people that you're working with. I want to get into that a little bit more, but let's take a quick little break, and we'll be right back.
I bet.
You're listening to Chicano Rap Radio, raw and uncut.
Chicano Rap Radio, raw and uncut.
Welcome back to Chicano Rap Radio. We've been chopping it up with the homie Bozo about his latest album, King Goon. Again, if you haven't listened to it, you're missing out. So make sure you go download it. Make sure you go stream it. It's available on all digital platforms. He's got a video out already on his YouTube channel, and stay posted for more videos and more music coming down the road. For everybody that follows you online, we've been seeing that you have something kind of cooking with King Lil G and Sad Boy Loco. Can you tell us a little bit more about those projects?
Yeah, so I'm also, aside from my own label, BAM by any means, I'm also affiliated to a label called Fam First. Fam First is founded by the homie Steve out of Panorama City. He also comes from the same background as I do. I met him after he had done 10 years. I had just done 10 years. We literally linked up and said, like, let's get some cracking, you know what I mean? So ever since linking up with him, I dropped Emiliano the Beast. I dropped Street God Volume 1, and now currently we're working on Street God Volume 2, which is we have the singles with Sad Boy Loco called Blue Homies. And then we've been working on a couple of tracks alongside of King Lil G. King Lil G has been, amazing, you know what I'm saying? I've only been around him a couple of times, like working, but I've learned a few things, you know what I'm saying? I've learned a few things I was lacking as far as poise, you know what I'm saying, in the game, the rap game, being a Chicano rap artist, being a Mexican, period, like in the game, you know what I'm saying? But as far as me and him, we've been in the studio throwing back and forth ideas, doing original tracks to see what our sound is together, you know what I'm saying? Most of the time, my experience working with artists that are well known and that I feature with, I've worked with a lot of artists that are like pretty popping, but it's not the same, dog. To be honest with you, like he's been very helpful. Like instead of, most artists take the feature money, run, and then hey, you got your track, you got your footage, like let's go, With King, it was a little different. He's the dude is a real professional, man. Like, even though he has your money, if he doesn't feel the project is 100, he's gonna tell you, you got to come back. We're gonna do it again. Right. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I understand why though, because at the end of the day, even though it's my feature, he's the biggest face on that motherfucker. You feel what I'm saying? It's almost like right. Exactly. So it has to be right. It's almost like when Nike allowed for Michael Jordan to join their brand. You feel what I'm saying? Yeah. Same type of shit. You feel me? It's like at the time, yeah, Michael was known in the NBA, but he wasn't a worldwide icon yet. You feel what I mean? So right. I see his professionalism and I see his approach to the game, and I can't do nothing but respect it and acknowledge that I'm in front of a fucking legend, dog. You feel what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
The dude understands his platform. The dude understands his place in the game, and he doesn't take it for granted, or is he materialistic about it? You know what I'm saying? Right. So the music really matters to him. So me and him have been in the lab. Like I said, we dropped a couple tracks already. But right now, my approach with this next album and the next couple albums I'm dropping, because I already have another album ready called Street Talk. I'm working on, like I said, Street God Volume 2. And then I'm working on another album to drop at the end of the year. So, but like what I was trying to get into is that right now, the goal is to like I feel, and this is just me personally, nobody has to agree with me. This is just my perspective, this is my opinion, like I said. I feel like our culture as a whole, well, maybe not as a whole, I would like to say at the younger half of our culture, right? The youth, I don't really think they have an identity, dog. You know, I think that they're kind of lost in social media. I think they're lost in YouTube and what they see. And I think that the glamorization of numbers under likes, views, and all that has these kids really fucked up. You know what I mean? They value popularity more than they value their culture or even their history. You feel what I'm saying? So right now, my goal as the artist that I am is to enrich my culture. You know what I mean? And show the little homies or show the youth that it's okay for us to be us. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like we don't necessarily have to change or wear somebody else's persona to be accepted in the game or to be dope. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think that me along with King Lil G are perfect examples of that shit. Like you can be a homie, you can be a Mexican dude and still have swagger. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
you could still be
Stilo.
fashionable. Exactly, homie. You feel what I'm saying? So that's been my biggest approach lately with this music shit. Like I told King Lil G, like right now it's not really even about money, you know? I'm an earner by nature, so I'm gonna be all right as far as money.
Yeah.
Right now it's about legacy, you know what I mean? And what kind of legacy I want to leave behind.
Yeah.
And you know, that's really the goal. But yeah, man, the goal is to put out the best quality music. It's to damn, sorry about that. Somebody just fucking called and interrupted. My bad. It's to yeah, it's to empower the culture. Like you said, you listen to my music and you feel a certain type of way. Well, that's what I want to do, dog. Like right now is build up the fucking catalog. So by the time you do discover me, however you discover me, you don't just have one song, you know? I'm
Yeah.
giving you fucking albums to go back and be like, become a real devoted diehard fan. You feel what I'm saying? Because
Yeah.
I understand my popularity isn't exactly where it should be or where it has to be to make an impact. But I want to make sure that when my time comes up to bat, like I'm ready, dog. Like all
Yeah.
guns are loaded. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I see that, and I definitely respect that, because I agree with you in regards to the identity crisis that's kind of going on in the younger generation. And there's a lot of people out there that are really active on social media, and I respect them for the level of engagement that they have and all these other things, which is really good. We need that, in order to kind of keep the culture or the music expanding. But at the same time, it can't come at the price of your craft. You can't want that more than you developing as an artist, and that comes with, I think, with a little bit more knowledge and wisdom, and really taking everything that the I don't want to say forefathers, but everybody that has come before us, what they've proven to us that works, which is staying true to yourself, where it's okay to be proud of your culture, and it's okay to own your own identity without having to, like you said, become part of someone else's persona. And with this latest album, one of the things that I definitely wanted to mention was that I think it's really going to put a lot of pressure on people to level up in regards to their level of creativity next time they put their music, which is only going to benefit you and benefit everybody as a whole. As long as everybody's challenging each other, and pushing each other, I think we're all going to keep growing, and that time is going to come for people who are positioned like yourself or King Little G or all the other people out there that are doing big things right now in regards to Chicano rap. When that time comes, we're going to be ready. We're going to hit the floor running like an avalanche. One of the things that I think is admiring about who you are and what you do is that you keep talking about the culture, and you wanting to contribute in regards to the culture. And I see all the hard work that you're doing right now to do that. Any other kind of little secret projects or anything else that we can expect coming down the road that's going to further your mission in regards to enriching the culture?
Yeah, we're trying to start a short film, we want to drop a short film and see if we get the energy and the response that we want in order to make it a series, an episode a month, you know what I'm saying? So that we can keep building up the channel, building up awareness on the channel. And then also I want to like start putting on a lot more of the little homies on,
That's
like
right.
bringing out a lot more of the homies on, the young female artists, young homie artists. I think that when I first started, there was a lack of that. So I want to change that. You know, the thing is this, dog. It's very important to do more than just talk about change. You know what I mean? Like a lot of people get caught up in hearing their own fucking voice. Like people fall in love with their own voice. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And they hypnotize themselves, and they also convince themselves that they're making a change by running their mouth. You know what I mean? But it takes more than that shit. Like it really takes you to mentor motherfuckers. It takes you to encourage, even slight compliments on a post. Like, hey, little homie, you're doing your shit. You know what I mean? Hey, to all of us out there, all the homies in the game, salute. You know what I mean? Like, for instance, Sad Boy Loco just got out of prison, right?
Yep.
First thing I told to myself, I said to myself, we're all sitting around here talking about keeping it solid, and none of the homies locking it up, or none of the homies snitching, or none of the homies, you know, doing shit that goes against our morals, right? Well, why the fuck are we celebrating this young man that just got out, kept his mouth shut, and came home to pursue his goals? You know what I'm saying? So the first thing that me and the team did, we said, fuck it, let's drop a bag in the homie's lap. You know, I'm sure he needs to get on his feet. I'm sure he got some money, but regardless, the culture should feed him back, dog. You know what I'm saying? For everything that man's done for the culture, for every little move he made that amplified to bigger steps, the homie should be rewarded, and he should be glorified for it, and it should be us to do it first. So that's why we reached out to him. King Lil G is the biggest artist in our culture as we speak. Why in the fuck would I not be aiming to work with this man? Right. How can you be a representation of this culture when you can't even compliment your goddamn self? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, you know, those are the biggest moves we're trying to do right now. And you know, we're moving, dog, like on some real shit. I don't know, you know, it's God's grace, homie, because I don't even know how I pull most of this shit out of my ass. You know what I mean? It's just, you know.
Well, I think, you know, I see that you're a God-fearing man. I mean, I don't think any man really, you know, really puts any fear in you, and you're not worried about any other man. But I see how you respect and welcome the grace of God. And I think, you know, that's what's been, you know, working out for you. And also in regards to what you're saying about helping out the culture and you know, celebrating this person that kept it 100 and kept it solid, and us helping each other out as a whole, because, you know, it also furthers, you know, our mission, not only to rise as a people, but also, you know, rise in the industry, because, you know, this is something that we love to do. And so, you know, I look forward to your journey. I look forward to all the projects that you have in the works. Also in regards to the short film that you're talking about, I mean, is that going to be like a fiction, or is that like a
no, it's going to be based on it's going to be based on true events, you know what I mean? We're just going to keep the you know, we don't want to incriminate nobody, you feel what I'm saying? But it's going to be based on true events, and we're trying to make it something positive, not necessarily like Boys in the Hood type of shit. No shit, you know what I mean? Nothing to like
glorifying.
Yeah, to glorify the lifestyle, but it's just a reality, you know what I mean? A reality of where we're at and where we've been, you know what I'm saying? So we're just trying to be creative, dog, and you know, give our people their own platform, you know what I'm saying?
That's right. Well, and we look forward to the evolution. We look forward to the journey. Any last words for the fans that are tuned in right now?
Shit, go stream the shit, man. King Goon, it's my proudest piece of work so far, you know what I mean? I really, really hope you guys enjoy it, man. And I hope that you guys, you know, at least if you don't necessarily like understand like the lifestyle, at least identify with the talent that is behind myself, behind my lyrics, like at least the music, you know what I'm saying? Just enjoy it and shit, soak it in, man. You know what I mean? I'm sharing everything that I possibly can with you, you know? I don't hold nothing back, you know what I'm saying?
Right. And you know, we definitely appreciate that the fans and everybody here at Chicano Rap Radio, we appreciate you joining us. Anybody listening, again, we've been plugging it in, but you know, we want to make sure that you go support the homie, but that you also treat yourself to some really good music. So go check out Bozo's new album, King Goon. It just released last Friday, and you know, let's go to his YouTube channel, let's go to all the digital platforms, and let's run those numbers up. We appreciate you joining us, homie. You enjoy the rest of your day.
Yeah, no doubt. Thank you, man. Likewise, my boy.
You're listening to Chicano Rap Radio, raw and uncut.
Chicano Rap Radio, raw and uncut.